Hey everybody, welcome back to In the Kitchen with Kay, back by popular demand. And by popular, I mean two. Tonight, for dinner, I am making pot roast. Roast goes way back. This is a rustic, hearty meal, right? It never fails to satisfy. Make it fancy, get yourself red wine, it's a $5 bottle. You don't have to. You could definitely just use beef bouillon. It'll be delicious. If you don't like thyme and rosemary, use something else. Use dry. It's fine. Season is the key. If you don't want potatoes, put parsnips. If you don't want onions, leave them out. If you don't like mushrooms, don't. The two things, though, that are really important as far as the flavor profile, for real, just like in any broth making, it's celery, it's carrots, and in my opinion, it's onion. Okay? So I'm going to wash all of my ingredients, get them portioned out, and get my meat seasoned. In this instance, I don't want to have to cook again tomorrow, and we can definitely put one roast away. So I'm making two, but if y'all aren't as carnivorous as we are, do one. So wash your hands. Already have. Okay, you're going to season your meat. This is a thick daddy, okay? Thick boy. He can handle it. Also, pepper. Again, I think the pepper has a lot to do with the flavor profile. I'm a little generous with it. Then you have to massage your meat. You know what likes it. You see how that kind of relaxed? Do you see how that spread wider, opened up? And I gave it a little bit of that Swedish touch. But you're looking to relax the muscle. I like meat. Flip. Wash. And repeat. Again with the pepper. And then on one side of mine, I also like to take some onion powder and sprinkle it like cracking. Get the hell out of here. And this is garlic powder. But then I will also sprinkle the bouillon onto one side. Not crazy. Just want it to have that deeper, deeper flavor profile. Okay. So again, just relax your meat. This is really going to let you get a good sear. Begin heating a thick bottom pan until you can feel the heat rising off of it. When you're satisfied that it's hot enough, drizzle in a high temp cooking oil. In this case, I'm using avocado oil. A properly heated pan will give you the Maillard reaction that you're looking for when searing this large cut of meat. I like to press my meat down to ensure an even sear. I seared this cut about 4 minutes on each side and got a beautiful crust. After removing one cut, I went ahead and I seared the next one. Meanwhile, I began the mise en place, which is where you prepare all of your vegetables so that they are ready to go into the meat when it is time. I peeled 4 carrots and 2 of the red potatoes before I realized that I was peeling red potatoes. But then I figured it would add a pop of white. That's fine. Next, I took them over to the sink to give them a good wash. My red potatoes were not very large. I simply cut them in half This way they can stand up to a longer cooking time. I then chunked my carrots into large sections for the same reason. Then I began peeling my onions and quartering them. You're also going to want to cut your celery into large enough pieces so they don't cook into smithereens. I quartered some very large white button mushrooms. And then I'm going to pop those bad boys in the air fryer with some salt so they can release all their liquids and be nice and roasted. Meanwhile, I turned my attention to the wine. It had been a while since I had opened a bottle. But I managed, and I celebrated. Take your wine back to your searing pan and deglaze. As the alcohol cooks off, scrape up every bit of that flavor, and that's what it is, flavor. I then go back and forth between sprinkling in some bouillon, adding in more wine, some water, and deepening the flavors. Adding more as it reduces. Now I take a tablespoonful of flour and sprinkle it on the top. This is what will make the roux, what will thicken the sauce to the meat. I don't worry about clumps because I cook this for quite a while. I reduce, I add, I reduce, I add. Here I throw in 1 sprig of rosemary and 1 sprig of thyme. Then I allow it to cook into my sauce with a bay leaf and a half. The bouillon adds plenty of saltiness. But again, I really feel like black pepper just adds that zhuzh. And it turned out my cheap wine was delicious. Taste your sauce, and damn, mine was good. Now you take your delicious reduction and you pour it over the meat. In my electric skillet, I cooked my meat for about 2 hours at around 225 degrees Fahrenheit. And then I added in the veg. Then I pulled the meat out so that the vegetables were cooking in the sauce. While every piece of meat is going to have a different cook time, low and slow is best. This took 3 hours. And finally on top, I added my roasted mushrooms. You have to periodically give your meat a test for falla-parties. And if they don't have the falla-parties yet, they're not ready. And with some patience, there you have it, a beautiful Sunday roast, complete with rustic vegetables and toasted garlic bread. A beautifully satisfying winter meal that will always fill you up and never let you down. Thank you for watching, and if you make this, I hope you enjoy it.